excited to have Iona from A Healthy Beginning. It's a sustainable brand based in Canada. So welcome, Iona.
Thank you.
So I'm
Great to be
super
here.
excited to chat with you. We received your application, and obviously we love that you have natural skincare products. It's non-toxic. I know there's deodorant, there's lip balm, there's sunscreen, there's hand sanitizer, there's body lotion, there's eye cream, there's facial cleanser, there's toothpaste, there's mosquito repellent, there's facial moisturizer, facial exfoliant, tinted facial cream, and probably a bunch of other things too.
Yeah.
So
Remember.
we're so excited to have you aboard, and like I love to like follow the who, what, when, where, why kind of formula when I interview people, because it really helps us get to understand founders. So can we start off with like who you are? Can you tell everybody your name and maybe a little bit about you and like why you created this brand?
Yeah, happy to. So my name is Iona Bonamis, and yeah, as you mentioned, I'm the creator of A Healthy Beginning, and I'm a mom of two young boys, 3 and 6, so they keep me really busy. Though I started my business when I first became pregnant with my older son. And I had always been interested in sustainable living, just to not only to be healthier myself, but to be able to protect our environment. Because for as long as I can remember, I've always really valued the importance of man preserving and conserving our resources so that our future generations are able to have the same resources available to them. So when I became pregnant with my older son, I really wanted to find out what I was putting on my body, because I wanted to make sure whatever it was going to be safe for me and for him later on, because I knew it would get transferred to the growing baby, whatever I put on my body. So I did a lot more research, and then I found out about this program called Eco-Maternity Consulting and Greenproofing. So because there's a lot of information out there around what's toxic, what's not, there's a lot of conflicting information. I found that I really wanted to do a program that would help me find out exactly what are the trustworthy sources of information, what I should be prioritizing in my life, because there's so much you could do. What are the first actions I should be taking? So when I did the program, I learned a lot about what are toxins, how they're introduced into our bodies at the home, and what are the things that we can do, that we can easily do. And then I also found out there are a lot of people in the same situation. They want to do more, but they don't know exactly how to. So that's where I started my business, and I wanted to help other families and individuals who want to have a greener, healthier lifestyle. And I want to find ways that they can do it affordably and an easy way that they can adapt to their own lifestyle. Because everybody's definition of green and healthy is different, and that's completely okay. There's no right or wrong answer to it, and I want people to feel comfortable. I don't want them to feel paralyzed. So I started doing online consulting and one-on-one consulting, going into people's homes and helping them look at room by room, what are the sources of toxins, what they can do. And then I started teaching workshops, because people asked me, how do you make your own natural body care products? And then people start asking me, can you make some body care products for me? I don't have the time to make it. So that's where my body care line came out of. So it kind of just snowballed. And now, yeah, I have a catalog of over 30 products, probably even more now. Yeah, it's very satisfying to be able to help people find something that they can adapt to their lifestyle. And I know it's making a positive impact on their life.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So since you're like a green consultant, do you want to give kind of like your top tips to people who are watching today? And then we can go into talking about your products a little bit more.
Yeah,
You
happy
just
to.
did such a beautiful job sharing your story that it's like, we get it. So
Yeah.
now share with us what you've learned. So share with us what you've learned.
Yeah. So one thing that we normally a lot of attention to, as you said, is like body care products. Like it's because it's something that we consume pretty quickly, so people are able to switch out and their body care products pretty easily. But one thing that we don't normally pay attention to is our air quality in the home. So I always start with air quality, and because it's the most important element in our lives, where we can't live without air for a very long time, and it has a big impact on the health of our bodies. So one top tip I give to people is leave your shoes at the door. And it's really easy to do. It doesn't involve buying anything, but because your shoes track in a lot of dirt and pollutants from the outside, just leaving it at the door will significantly reduce the amount of pollutants you're bringing into your house. And it also means you don't have to clean your floors as often.
And Asian households, does anybody
Yes.
walk around with their shoes in the house? No.
Yeah.
Don't we
Exactly.
all? Don't we all have mothers who are like, "What are you doing?" One time, my dad, he was like at the bottom of the stairs, and he looked up at me, and he's like, "Is your mom up there?" And I was like, "No." And then he like ran up with his shoes to grab something from his room because he didn't want to untie his shoelaces, and he ran back down. And then she came in, and I was like, "Oh, I see what you did." And she was like, "What did he do?" And I said it, and then she was like, "Really? That's what you're going to show the kids? There's a reason why I do these things, blah, blah, blah. You're bringing dirt into the house, blah, 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 blah." But like we all kind of have that, like when mom's not around, can we just
Yeah.
sneak in this little, but that's
Yeah.
a good point. They do it
Yeah.
for a reason.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, so like Asians, we definitely knew what we were talking about.
I'm sure other cultures do it too.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I think it's strong in Asians.
yeah, something that I've definitely drilled into the kids now, that they know. And then the second thing is, in terms of air quality, making sure there's good ventilation in the house.
Mhm.
Is we have, in being indoors, you don't have as much wind and ventilation. So we have a lot of things in the house that off gas, pollutants like building materials or furniture or mattresses.
So
And
gross.
unfortunately, they accumulate in the house. So the concentration of those chemicals are often higher inside the house than outside.
Yeah.
So making sure you have proper ventilation just by opening windows and doors and fans,
Yep.
really, really easy. Yeah.
Yeah. Keep that air conditioner away, people.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah.
I'm a person who will only use an air conditioner if I'm so desperate because it's just that hot that like
Hmm.
even being naked won't help.
Yeah.
But every other kind of situation, we should keep our car doors and our car windows and also our windows in the home open as much as we can, as
Hmm.
long as it's safe.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Do you use an air purifier? Do you believe in those? I have two.
Yeah, that's a great question. I do. I do use an air purifier. Unfortunately, in Vancouver, Metro Vancouver, where I'm based out of, we've had a lot of forest fires,
Yeah.
as have a lot of other places. So, and particularly in the last few years, the air purifier has been really essential. But even without that, um, it does, it definitely helps. So, especially we use it in our bedrooms. So you spend so much time in the bedroom, and there's not as much air circulation. Um, so yeah, we have that on in the evening when we're sleeping.
Yeah.
And I also advise people, if you're living near a busy street, there's a lot of car traffic, that all those fumes are coming in. So an air purifier is really helpful for that too.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
That's a really good tip. When I
yeah.
first kind of started on this journey, and I was thinking about impact on human health, I when I realized like what paint on your walls does, and like what you mentioned about the furniture and the flame retardants and like all that
Hmm.
other stuff, it was appalling for me because I have sinusitis, and I lost my
Okay.
sense of smell for 5 years.
Oh, wow.
And when I
Okay.
got my sense of smell back, I started to really do the research and like, why did I lose it? Why am I so allergic to everything? What's in the environment?
Mm,
And it's
mhm.
huge.
Yes.
Huge is the air. So
Mhm.
what's your next one?
The next one is still related to air. So it's about odor. You know, you're just talking about your sense of smell. Just yeah, using your nose to sniff out potential sources of toxins like air fresheners.
Oh,
There's so
so
many
bad.
products with fragrances
Yeah.
like scented candles, cleaning products, personal care products, things that you wouldn't even expect to be scented, they can be scented. And even products that say they're unscented, if you look at the back, it could actually still have fragrance in it. It might not just be the flowery or lemony smell that you would normally expect, but it could still have fragrance in it. And fragrance, you probably know, like 95% of it is from synthetically, they're made of synthetically produced chemicals, petroleum based chemicals.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have reactions to them, like asthma, and there can be neurotoxins. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Seriously.
using a
So bad.
yeah, yeah. So I one of the things that I do when I go into people's homes is I smell everything. I use my nose to see where I can find out these. It could be
I
from
love it.
the furniture, it could be from their cleaning products, as I said,
Oh yeah.
and try to, if you can replace them. I encourage people to replace them, but you know, things like furniture. If it's a new piece of furniture, you might not be able to replace it, but I get people to make sure there's a good ventilation and leave it outside if it's possible for a few weeks for it to off gas.
Right. And the
Yeah.
scents, in addition to like petroleum and stuff, there's also a lot of microplastics that are in there too, because they, in the chemical
Mm-hmm.
formulation of like perfumes and so many other things, like that gets released too, that gets absorbed into our bodies. Like, oh, I'm so scared of like one
Yeah.
day when somebody develops like some way of figuring out how much plastic a body actually has in it at the end of the day. Could you hear me?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know. Yeah.
right? Like how much we accumulate in our bodies, that would be so freaky. Is my audio okay? Sorry, I heard some
Mm-hmm.
clicking.
Yeah, I mean that they have been a lot of. Oh, I'm okay.
Oh, okay. There's just a
Are
lag.
you able to hear
That's
me?
what it is. Yeah, I'm able to hear you.
Oh,
People watching this video will be so
okay.
amused by our Zoom.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, a lot of research has been done to test people's bodies, like with their blood levels in terms of all the different types of chemicals that are in it, and yeah, even a growing fetus will have a lot of these chemicals that we find in our everyday
Yes.
products because it gets transferred from the mother. So yeah, it's really sad to see, but I can say definitely a lot of research has also been done that when we stop using these products, those levels in our bodies of those chemicals do drop significantly, a lot of them. So there are things that we can do. There's definitely something to look forward to. And we don't need to give up and say
Yeah.
everything has chemicals, there's no way we can reduce our exposure. There are
Which a
definitely,
lot of people say. That's like
yeah.
the number one kind of feedback I'll get from people who like are not interested in this lifestyle is like, well, there's no
Mhm.
workaround, so who cares? I'm just gonna Botox,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, I know, exactly.
No offense. I'm sure it has some benefits to people who have like TMJ and those other things, but still, like the majority of
Hmm.
people who use it, cosmetic. Anyways,
Yeah.
next, next tip.
So the next tip is about food now. So when it comes to food, I do really encourage people to eat locally and organically as much as possible. The emissions are related to transporting our food is huge. And then, of course, a lot of research has shown that eating organic foods, you get a lot more nutrients from the food because when the plant is um, grown organically, they have to develop their own defense mechanisms against pests and things like that. And those chemicals are actually important nutrients. They're like proteins and things like that, and important sugars. So, yeah, a lot of research has shown that there are certain nutrients are much higher concentration in organically produced plants. And if you're eating meat, like grass-fed, um, organically produced meats are definitely the better option if you are able to get them. And there's a cost associated with that, you know,
Yeah.
that's usually the barrier. But I try to remind people that you may be paying a little bit more for that because it needs to be, um, they need to take more measures to grow those foods safely and organically. But you're avoiding heavy medical costs in the future. So
Yeah.
you're investing in your health right now to avoid the bigger, larger costs in the future.
And grass fed is great for like possibly better, sorry, for like a person's body. But like,
Hmm.
um, I also really love the element of like free range and like pasture raised, you
Hmm.
know,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
quality lifestyle for the animal because they could
yeah,
still be fed grass, but like stuck and cooped up in a hut. You know what I mean?
definitely. Yes, yeah.
So
Hmm.
it's for consumers to really be aware of greenwashing, even when, you know, brands and businesses do say, hey, this is this way, doesn't necessarily mean it meshes or with your values. And if you kind of do a
Hmm.
little bit more research into them, research which they don't actually make publicly available, or so widely publicly available, maybe you may not actually love that product as much, but
Yeah.
they're greenwashing you so that you want to buy that product. So, you know, like everything we say, take it with a grain of salt type of a thing, and like do your own research.
Yes.
Even when you think it's great, still do your own research.
Yes. Yeah,
Right?
exactly. Yeah, yeah. And that actually that lens that goes blends seamlessly with my
Oh,
last tip, which
yeah.
is read labels. Get to know how to read labels and do your research. Because, as you said, there is a lot of greenwashing. The front of a label can say something on a product, but then when you actually look at the ingredients, it can be completely different because there's
Yeah.
no standardized definition of what natural means. You can say organic, it doesn't mean that all of the ingredients are organic. Yeah, as you said, like grass fed could be still, but the animals could still be raised in a confined environment. Um,
Vegan
yes.
chemicals. Just because it's vegan doesn't mean it doesn't have toxic chemicals,
Yes,
right?
exactly. Yeah, yeah. And natural doesn't mean it's safe either, right? Poison
Yeah,
ivy is natural.
sure. Yeah.
So yeah, so
Lavender
getting
for
to
pregnant
know,
women. Don't do it.
yeah, so getting to know how to read labels is really important, and
Yeah.
finding out some of the resources that you can use to make it easier to know how to read labels is important. Like I find I use the Environmental Working Group a lot, and people I think Dirty app is also really great for that. And once you start getting used to reading the labels, it gets a bit easier because I know it can be really inundating. When you pick up a product, there this whole list of chemicals, your eyes just get like go cross-eyed looking at them.
Seriously. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then the more natural the product is, the easier it is to read the label.
Yeah,
Like
there
reading
should
your
be.
label, I'm pretty sure will be very different. So let's
Yes.
get into your
Yeah.
products. So let's talk about your products. What are some of your favorite products that you create? I personally haven't tried them, so I
Hmm.
can't attest for them, but I have taken a look at your products on your website and taken a look at your ingredients. So, and obviously received your application form. So I have certainty that they're quite awesome.
Hmm.
But yeah, please go ahead and discuss.
Yeah. Well, I started my line with products that I use on an everyday basis and that I use on my baby at the time. So it has a lot of baby care products like
Beautiful.
diaper cream and baby shampoo and mama uh, bottom spray when I was pregnant that, after I gave birth, the bottom spray was very, very important. And I just gave a bottle of that to my sister-in-law because she just gave birth recently, helps
Yeah.
heal the perineal area after birth. So a lot of baby care products.
Yeah.
And then for me, I had issues with my face in terms of acne and having oily complexion. So I formulated products that would not be greasy and would help me with my acne. And so I have a facial cleanser. It's a facial cleansing oil that's based on the oil likes oil principle. Um, so normally our face produces oil sebum throughout the day, and dirt gets trapped into it, and it clogs our pores, and that's what causes blackheads and acne. And when you use a regular cleanser that you get in the store, it strips your skin of your natural oils, and your skin tries to compensate that and produces more oil. And the oil cleanser just uses, I use castor oil and sunflower oil, which is really healing and anti-inflammatory.
Yeah.
And it just, when you rub it on, it helps melt the oil that's on your face and the dirt. I feel so nice is you put a hot, wet washcloth on your face, leave it on until it just cools down, and then you wipe it off, and you pulled out the dirt and the toxins and the pollutants from your skin, and it still gives you a little bit of oil residue on your face that helps moisturize the skin, and you're not stripping your face of all of the natural oil, so you don't have a really tight feeling, and then you don't have a shine on your face a few hours afterwards. So
Right.
I really like that. It's made a big difference in my skin. And then I have a facial oil that's is filled with a rosehip oil. Is really great for boosting collagen production and firming the skin,
Yeah.
and really good for just anti-aging. Um, and then I have things like some of my sun care products. Which one of my favorite things right now is a tinted sun mineral facial lotion that you can wear throughout the day that has sun protection, but also helps to even out the complexion of your skin. And it's not greasy, not
Yeah.
whitening. Yeah.
Can we
So,
talk about natural sunscreen a little bit? Because I use
mm-hmm,
it and I find
mm-hmm,
that I tan way easier with all the natural stuff. Like,
mm.
if anything, it's like a sunscreen, but it's also a tanning lotion for me. So, like, if you
Yeah.
look at me, like, my before and after from this summer is like
Yeah.
pretty amazing since I've gone all
Oh.
natural. Yeah,
Mm.
like I look good, but it's not like in all the places, which sucks because it's like tanning lotion here, but it's like really pale here, and I'm just like
Uh-huh.
trying to balance it out now.
Yeah.
I don't know how
Mm-hmm.
to. But anyways, could you speak to the natural sunscreen and kind of the sun protection quality
Mm-hmm.
compared to the chemical, like the other SPF 30, 60s, that kind of a thing, and what you
Mm-hmm.
think then the natural would be in the scale of those, and then also the the tanning aspect of them as well.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, when you make when you buy homemade sun care products, you do have to be careful. But one thing I find I use zinc oxide, or which is a natural mineral, and it creates a sun barrier. It's a barrier.
Yeah.
It doesn't get absorbed into your skin, unlike the chemical sunscreens that you typically find in a store. And it the thing about it, usually you can't get it really at a high level beyond like SPF 25 or so when you buy
Okay.
a homemade sunscreen. So you do have to apply it more frequently. So I'd say about every 4 hours or so, you should be reapplying it. And so that might be why you're tanning a bit
So
more when you're
much.
wearing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm like tanned after a half hour of being out in the sun because
Oh, really?
they're the scientists are like, at least what I've heard of all the SPFs is like the number on the bottle is essentially how often you have to reapply. So if it is
Mm-hmm.
25, apply after 25 minutes, that kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've heard. And like with the natural sunscreen, I've been trying to go every hour, but the
Mm-hmm.
real truth is I put it on in the morning, I do my day, I come
Yeah.
home, I'm very, 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 very tanned. And when I take it with me on the beach, it melts really easily because it's mostly oils. So I
Mm-hmm.
find that it's more of a tanning lotion
Okay.
because of that reason. So I'm still trying to figure out the natural sunscreen thing. That's like a
Mm.
personal challenge I'm having right now in my life.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I I figure that out either through a brand that can help like support my beach activities or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's something that I'm facing right now as like an eco consumer is like the natural sunscreen dilemma.
Mm.
It might just be skin types too, right? Like,
Right. Yeah. 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 My kids are Chinese and Indian, so they're a little bit darker.
they
So
must be
they,
so gorgeous. I love that mix.
yeah, they are. They're beautiful.
So your in-laws are Indian because you were talking about your in-laws before we started
Yeah.
this interview. Oh,
Yeah.
that's so awesome.
Yeah.
They're being fed well.
They are. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so they're a little bit darker. My husband obviously is a little bit darker, so they do tan a little bit more easily. Um, but yeah, I found it with my sunscreen, they haven't had to reapply like that often. Yeah.
I'll have to try
Um,
yours then, I think.
yeah. I think the other important thing is like protection against sunburns. Like if you're at least getting protection from sunburn, that I think that is really
I
that is
am.
important. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, reapplying more often, I think would help with that.
Well, I've enjoyed our tangents, but like I would love to, for the folks watching this video, have them know how to buy your products. So one
Yeah.
is obviously they found you on the Sustainable Life app, so it's to use the coupon code. And what's their coupon code?
It is. I've forgotten it now. On my,
Let me check.
I think
Hi, people. It's Sustainable 1543.
there you go.
So when you click on the app, you click shop now, and then you browse through your online store, you find the products that you're interested in, use that coupon code, and you get a discount. And what's the discount? Does it range
I
on
think it
products
is.
or?
Yeah, I think it is 10% off the products.
That's really great.
Yeah.
It's really great
And
incentive for consumers to have that discount because then you
mm-hmm.
get to try, but then also hopefully support a brand like yours for the long term.
Thank you. Yeah.
And then how else can consumers reach you? Do you want to share your Instagram handle, your Facebook handle, anything else?
Yes, yeah. So you can also find me on Instagram, and it's .healthy.beginning. And then my Facebook page is just a healthy beginning, all one word. Yeah. And I'll also mention that I also offer my products in bulk to try to help reduce waste. And I know with COVID right now, refilling bottles, it's a little bit tougher, but that is something that I normally offer. So if people bring their own bottles, like if you live locally to me, if you bring your own bottles, I can help fill them up so that we can reduce waste, or you can return the bottles that I've given you and I can give you a refund for that bottle.
It's really beautiful. Have you considered joining the eco service provider section of the app as well?
I'll have to look that up. No,
Yeah,
I
so
haven't.
you can
Yeah.
actually join the eco service provider section as a green or eco consultant,
Okay.
and then explain what it is that you do. And then you could also share the fact that, you know, you refill products. So you could
Mm.
join in theory, so long as you're okay with disclosing your address,
Okay.
the local retail section. And then
Mm-hmm.
you could say that you do zero waste refills, or you could do
Mm-hmm.
zero waste delivery and be in the eco
Yeah.
service provider section.
Yeah. I bike to people's homes. If you live in Vancouver, I will do a delivery on my bike.
That is so cute. Please join the eco service provider section and put like a photo of you on your bike doing a
Yeah.
delivery. It'd be so cute. The app was created for people like you, for businesses like you, for brands like you,
Mm-hmm.
because we just need to stay connected and be able to support one another in our eco consumer journey. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know.
awesome. Well, thank you for the interview. And this will be up on your page, on your brand page. It'll be great.
Great. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to connect with you and chat with you.
For sure. Same here.
Yeah.
Bye for now.
Okay, take care.